Hi, Weight Watchers friends. Sarah here with The Holy Mess. And as many of you know, I have lost over 100 pounds with Weight Watchers, and I've been maintaining it for over a decade. So I've got some great advice and strategies for you today. Today we're going to be talking about 3 ways to make Weight Watchers easy to follow. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that weight loss is easy because I know that it's not easy. But there are definitely things that you can do to make weight loss easier for yourself, especially when it comes to following Weight Watchers. Okay, so number 1, let's dive right into these. And that is to recognize emotional eating. Now, I know this is a big one, but this is key. This is absolutely key to your weight loss. It really doesn't matter all that much which diet you do as long as it's a relatively healthy diet. If you don't have your emotional eating under control, that diet is not going to work for you. So I have people email me all the time from my website and they say, should I do Weight Watchers or should I do keto or should I count calories or should I, I know you have all these choices out there. Now, I'm of course a little biased. I think Weight Watchers is fabulous. It's a great, healthy program. But the truth is, if you're eating for emotional reasons, you're not going to lose weight on Weight Watchers or keto or Whole30 or any of these other programs. Now, I recognize that emotional eating is something fairly large to tackle. I also run a Christian weight loss program for women online called Faithful Finish Lines. And in that program, I really dive deep into how to conquer and overcome your emotional eating. But for today, my advice to you is to recognize it. Pay attention. So much of emotional eating is about denial. If you've ever felt like you were sort of unconscious, like all of a sudden you wake up and your hand is in the bag of potato chips and what just happened? I just ate like 30 points worth of potato chips. That's what we're talking about here. So recognizing that you're doing it, paying attention to what you're doing will take you really far in overcoming that emotional eating. So that's step 1. Step 2 is to plan ahead. Plan ahead for how you are going to manage the Weight Watchers program. I think most of us know that when we have healthy options in the house, plenty of, fruits and vegetables, lots of 0-calorie foods, maybe some 0-point soup or chili, we're so much more likely to stay on program. For me, that also includes meal prep, so whether that's freezer meals or once a week preparing my breakfast or lunches, that's a big deal. I have my meals planned in advance. If we go out to eat, I look at the menu and decide what I'm going to eat. There's a lot of planning that goes into eating healthy, and especially eating healthy in a way that will lead to weight loss on Weight Watchers. Now, I have people that email me or, message me or whatever from time to time and say, Sarah, that doesn't really work for me. I'm a fly by the seat of my pants type of person. I'm just not really into the whole planning thing. And this is what I say to them. Well, are you okay with not losing any weight? And I know that sounds harsh, but the reality is what you've been doing this whole time is flying by the seat of your pants. It's not working for you. You have to plan ahead. How badly do you want this weight loss? If you want it, you will put in the work. So we talked about already, step 1 is recognizing emotional eating. That's going to make your progress on Weight Watchers so much easier, far and above anything else you do. Number 2 is to plan. And number 3 actually kind of goes with number 2, and that is to pre-track. So I plan all of my meals and snacks and everything I'm going to have the night before. In our online Faithful Finish Lines program, we call this Plan Tomorrow's Meals Today. Some people make a guideline for themselves if they have to plan their food 24 hours in advance. Some people find that the weekends are a really tough time for them, and so they will pre-track on Thursday or Friday for the entire weekend. For some people, it's just pre-tracking dinner. Like if they know, the meal they're going to have with their family, then it makes it easy to fill in the points for breakfast and lunch. So pre-tracking is really a helpful strategy that you can use because, and this is why, I want to tell you specifically why. When you're making decisions in the moment, it tends to be more of our, a different part of our brain, like that primitive, brainstem part of our brain, like I see a cookie, I want it, I'm gonna eat it. Whereas if you're planning ahead, you're using more of the frontal, logical, thinking part of your brain. So that's why when you sit down the night before and create a plan, you have a really thoughtful, logical part of your brain that's working for you. I like to call this primitive part of my brain my toddler brain. So my toddler brain wants all the things. She wants the candy, she wants the cookies, she wants the chocolate, she wants the junk food, she wants the chips. She is not making wise decisions. I like to say it's like a temper tantrum, a toddler temper tantrum that we have whenever we give in to a craving. But it's very different when you're planning ahead because you're thinking about your goals and thinking about what you want to have. So the way to pre-track is to track the day before, the night before, 24 hours in advance, whatever works for you. And then the next day, you follow your plan. Now here's where it gets a little bit challenging because what if you change your mind at that particular point? I really encourage people to follow their plan very, very closely, as much as they possibly can. And the reason why is you chose it. There's no reason to rebel against it. You chose it. And the thing about pre-tracking is that it makes it so clear, so obvious when you are giving in the moment versus when you're making a logical choice that really is healthy for you. So those are 3 ways that you can make Weight Watchers super successful for you. That is recognize emotional eating was number 1. Number 2 is to plan ahead. And number 3 is to give pre-tracking a try. Now, I recognize in all of the 3 things that I told you, we didn't really talk about specifics with food. I didn't give you specific recipes or, guidelines or ways to handle 0-point foods. All of those are helpful and important, but it really comes down to managing your mind, managing your brain. When you've got that down, all that other stuff is just bonus. It's just gravy. So I have put together for you a super helpful resource. It's called the Weight Watchers Success Toolkit. And oh my goodness, you guys, this is this amazing bundle of resources because like I said, I have people contacting me all the time and saying this is so hard, I'm overwhelmed, if only somebody would just tell me what to eat, or like I'm surrounded by all these people that are just naturally thin, they eat whatever they want, why is it so hard for me? So I've put together a set of resources that are going to be so helpful for you. There are ebooks in there. There's a 0-point cookbook in there. There's a ton of cheat sheets in there. So like all kinds of breakfast ideas, all kinds of ways to use plain non-fat Greek yogurt since that's 0 points. We have a holiday guide in there. We even have a Halloween candy cheat sheet guide in there. And then I also have some really helpful printables, tracker type printables, if that's helpful for you. Like I just put a daily and weekly points tracker in there. Most of us use our app, love our app, but sometimes it's helpful to track on paper. There's a weight tracker in there where you can keep track of your losses and gains and get to your goal, give yourself some rewards along the way if you'd want. And then as part of this Weight Watchers Success Toolkit, I've included a really special bonus. And these are Weight Watchers specific weight loss affirmation note cards. These are, you're gonna love these. I'm so excited for you to get your hands on these. Now they're not available anywhere else. They're not available on my website. They're only available if you invest in the toolkit. And so these are positive affirmations that you are going to say to yourself. I think most of us who are overweight have struggled with some really negative things that we say to ourselves. I'm fat, I'm worthless, I'm a failure, I'll never get to my goal weight, I'll never be able to do that. And when we say those things to ourselves, it's true. We do fail. We aren't able to get to our goal weight because we've repeated it over and over. But when you believe that it's possible to lose weight, when you believe that it's possible to eat healthy foods and stick to your points, you will eat healthy foods and stick to your points. You will lose weight. You will get to your goal weight. So don't underestimate the value of these affirmation cards. Honestly, I think the value of the affirmation cards is worth the entire cost of the whole bundle, even if that's the only thing you use out of it. I love these cards. I'm a huge believer in affirmations. I speak them to myself every morning as part of my prayer and Bible study time. I visualize my success and my future, and it really does work. So that's the Weight Watchers Toolkit. I'll be sure and put the link below so you can check it out, or in email, and I hope that you check it out, and it will be a fabulous resource for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'd love to hear your comments about which of these 3 steps you want to implement right away and which you think will be most helpful for you. I'm Sarah with The Holy Mess. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.